Assalamu alaikum, alaikum.
Good day everyone. We are the Lesson 2 reporters and we are going to discuss about art appreciation, creativity, imagination, and expression. Not every beautiful things we see every day is an art. Nature cannot be considered as an art. So bakit kaya hindi nako-considered ng art ang nature? So simply because hindi naman siya man-made or hindi naman tao yung gumawa ng nature. According to the definition of art in the book, art is man's creativity, imagination, and expression. Not single person is an artist, but all people can be considered as a spectator of art, which means kahit na hindi artist yung isang tao, basta't marunong siyang i-appreciate or kaya siyang i-convince ng isang art. We should always remember na artist man tayo or hindi, yung art is always give us a role of a field of appreciation. Jean-Paul Sartre, he is the one leading figures in 20th century French philosophers, and his works has also influenced sociology, critical theory, post-colonial theory, and literary studies, and continues to influence these disciplines. Inilarawan ni Jean-Paul Sartre ang papel daw ng art sa isang creative artwork ay nailalarawan nito ang mundo sa iba't ibang liwanag or buhay ng isang artwork at sa pananaw ng isang artist sa kanyang artwork. At lahat ng mga artwork na ginagawa ng mga artist ay mayroon itong natatanging angking ganda na siyang nagpapaakit sa mga taong upang kanila itong magustuhan. At marami rin ang nabubulag sa ganda ng mga artworks. Kaya dahil dito, marami ang mga taong hindi na nade-develop sa kanilang mga sarili ang tinatawag na sense of appreciation. Kaya may mga iilang mga artworks ang hindi na nabibigyang pansin, kaya't ang mga artist nito ay hindi rin sila nakakakuha ng sapat na kita sa kanilang pagte-trademark. The role of creativity in art making. What is creativity? Creativity requires thinking outside the box. From the word itself, creative, it should be your original. Creativity ay isa sa mga nagpapakita ng uniqueness ng isang tao. At hindi natin masasabi na unique yung isang tao kapag makikita mo ginagaya niya or pinlagarize niya yung artwork ng isang artist. A creative artwork does not simply copy or imitating another work. He embraces originality to put his own flavor into his work and call it in his own creative base. So which means, yung isang creative artist, hindi siya basta-basta lang nag-imitate ng isang artwork. But rather, ginagawa niya lang itong inspiration, yung gawa ng isang artist, para makakreate siya or makakreate ka ng sayo or mas mapakreative mo pa yung gawa ng isang artist. Are you familiar with the campaign ad na It's More Fun in the Philippines? Yung It's More Fun in the Philippines ay sumikat siya noong 2011 na ginamit ng DOT or Department of Tourism. And lately, na-find out na originated siya from Switzerland na meron din campaign ad na doon na It's More Fun in the Switzerland. But then, dinipensahan ng secretary ng DOT sa Pilipinas and sinabi na everything is just coincidental. Pero gayon pa man, kung coincidental man or hindi, kung isa ka man artist, dapat gagawa ka ng malawakang pagre-research. Nang sa ganon, ay walang magaganap na conflict sa art mo at sa art ng iba. Some of the idea of creativity in art making. Kung isa kang artist, dapat you bring something new sa isang artwork. na gagawin mo para maiba or para ma-recognize siya ng ibang artist na it is in your own. Kumbaga, yung creativity na yun, gawin mo siyang trademark na ikaw ay isa kang artist nito at ito yung highlights mo.
Visual arts are origin pictorial, graphic, and sculptural works, which include two-dimensional and three-dimensional works of fine. Graphics and apply art. Examples of visual arts works. Advertisement, yan na yung nakikita natin sa TV, which is yung extra. Commercial prints, levels, artificial flowers and plants. There are 7 visual arts and how to use them in digital design. Visual elements are the building blocks of art and design. There are 7 visual elements in total. They are line, shape, color, value, form, texture, and space. In this article, we'll cover each element on its own as well as how to use them in your own design. So what is the most important form of visual art? The most important form of visual art is painting. Painting is often called the most important form of visual art. It is about putting colors on a canvas or a wall. Painters express their ideas through a mixture of a color and a different brush stroke. A film, also known as a movie or a motion pictures, is a series of moving images shown on a screen, usually with sounds, that make up a story. Some people like to see new films at the theater as soon as they release. A film consists of moving pictures that have been recorded so that they can be shown at the cinema or on television. A film tells a story or shown a real story. Performance art is an artwork or art exhibition created through action executed by the artist or other participants. It may be witnessed live or through documentation, spontaneously developed or written, and it's traditionally presented to a public in a fine art context, in undisciplinary mood. While the term performance and performance art only became widely used in the 1970s, the history of performance in the visual arts is often traced back to futurist productions and Dada cabarets of the 1910s. Throughout the 20th century, performance was often seen as a non-traditional way of making art. It can be any situation that involves 4 basic elements: time, space, the performance body or presence in a medium, and a relationship between performer and audience. Performance art can happen anywhere, in any time of venue or setting, and for any length of time. Examples of performance arts. Performing arts may include dance, music, opera, theatre and musical theatre, magic, illusion, mime, spoken word, puppetry, circus arts, professional wrestling, and performance arts. Poetry is an art form. Like all other art forms, such as painting, dance, sculpture, or music, poetry has tools, techniques, practices, and history that inform it. Yes, anyone can pick up a pen and write a few heartfelt lines, but there is much more that goes into shaping a good poem. Why poetry is a form of art? It is a form of writing that uses words to create a picture, sound, or feelings. Poetry has its own sound, form, image, and rhythm. therefore qualifying it as a form of art. Architecture, the art and technique of designing and building, as distinguished from the skills associated with construction. The practice of architecture is employed to fulfill both practical and expressive requirements, and thus it serves both utilitarian and
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu. I am Laila Yud Zakaria, one of the reporters from the group. So our topic for today is all about art as a product of imagination, imagination as a product of art. So what is imagination as a product of art? Interpretation of art, in my own opinion, art is a product of imagination. The meaning of imagination is the ability of the mind to be creative or resourceful. In that case, how could one artist understand and make art if he or she lacks the creativity to imagine things? And imagination is more important than knowledge, since the knowledge is limited early, but imagination is free or unlimited. You can imagine all how you can survive through imagination can solve it to make a solution could help you ever in it can give a chance to be a wise. Isip ka ng marami, and imagination is not create ng new ideas. Remember that art is made by persons, aided by art materials, tools, and skills, and that shaped by their creativity and imagination. No matter how close art is to nature, the human mind, heart, and hands are the ones that shape art. So, alam naman natin na ang art ay isang gawa ng isang tao. So, sa tulong ng mga gamit like colors, pencils, rulers, etc. na magagamit sa paggawa ng artist, natutulungan niya tayo kung paano mag-create ng isang art na creative na mapapahanga natin yung mga makakakita nito. Importance of imagination art. Imagination instates everything, and new knowledge and understanding grow from there. They always say change things, but you actually have to change them yourself. Artists use their imaginations to deliberately explore new possibilities. So, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, napakahalaga ang imagination through knowledge, dahil ang imagination is malawakang pag-iisip ng mga bagay-bagay na makaka-create tayo ng new things and imagination. More important that the knowledge, because knowledge is very limited early lamang, pero ang imagination, malawakang pag-iisip ang ating magagawa. That's all.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Siti Rauda Abdul Karim Pinangsil. In this video, we will tackle about art, which is dance, literary arts, and applied art. First, I will discuss what is dance. When you hear the word dance, what first comes to your mind? Of course, it's about body movement, releasing your energy. Dance is a form of expression. Dance is a series of movements that follows the rhythm of the music accompaniment. That means dance can be used as a vehicle of expression, expressing yourself. Tumutulong ito to tell a story by using your body movement and to convey a feelings or emotions, to connect with others and with ourselves. It has been an age-old debate whether dance can really be considered an art form. And during the time, dance can be considered as a sport or the art. And consider siyang sport and art. Why? Because sport is may mga requirements or rules sa sports na magkahawig sa dance. That's why dance is naihalintulad siya sa sport. Pero, nung unang panahon, nagutuhan sila kung ano ba talaga ang dance, sport ko siya or art. And most of them, mas pinili yung dance is sport. That's why pwede ang dance ay isang sport and art.
But here we are primarily describing dance as a form of expression. Dancing is a creative form that allows people to freely express themselves. It has no rules. You may say that choreography does not allow this, but in art expression, dancers are not confined to set steps and rules but are free to create and invent their own movements as long as they deem them graceful and beautiful.
Ayun na nga. So, dancing daw is a creative form of way of expressing yourself freely. With the word freely, it depends on you how you express yourself. There's no rules. There's no anything that you can do. Just dance and say the story of what you dance.
Some of the example of dance. Literary art. Literary art. So, literary art, when you hear literary art, what first comes to your mind? Of course, it's about writing, pagsusulat, stories like that. Literary or literary art is something, the form of pagsusulat. Writing is stories. Writing is stories in a artistic and a cultural value. Ipinapakita dito or ipinapahayag ang kagandahan ng isang language or a speech para to convey a different meaning. Yes, to convey a different meaning or a certain meaning. The words literary arts or the noun literature come from the Latin word litera. Ang kahulugan nito, which means an individual written character is like letter. So, ang term nito is to generally come to identify the collection of writings, mga collection of pagsusulat. Kagaya na lamang sa Western culture, they have a mainly prose, both fiction and non-fiction like drama and a poetry. So, here's the some definition of literary arts. So, I forgot another example of a art, which is theater. Theater uses live performers to present accounts or imaginary events before a live audience. Theater art performances usually follow a script, though they should not be confused with literary art. So, the theater is sumusunod sila sa scripts na binibigay sa kanila. Sa theater naman, or sa literary art is more on writing. And theater is usually ginagawa siya through live performance para manood or manakapanood yung mga audiences nila. And much like in filmmaking, theater also considers several elements such as Okay, much like in filmmaking, theater also considers several elements such as acting, gesture, lighting, sound effects, musical score, scenery, and props. So, yun ang mostly na ginagamit nila mga props para sa kanilang play to sound effects. Yeah, kailangan nila mga sound effects. The combination of these elements is what gives the strongest impression on the audience, and the script thus becomes a minor element. Okay. So, by the use of music, lighting, and the props is para mas pahayag nila yung story na ginagawa nila or gina-play nila para mas lalong ma-feel ng mga audiences nila. That's the some elements of theater. Similar to performance, the participation of the viewer is an important element in theater arts. Yeah, the most important in theatrical play or in theater arts is the audience because theater is a live performance. Para without the audience, di nila ma-feel or makita kung maganda ba yung naipakita niya, the play or the impact of the audience is the most important in theatrical play. So some genre of theater include drama, musical, tragedy, and a comedy, and a improvisation. That's some of the genre of theatrical or theater arts. A small recap of theater arts. So the first actor, according to tradition in 534 or 535 BC, Thespis is the first actor, and he tried to leaping on a wooden cart and tried to recite a poetry. Then the lines in that poetry, they feel that he is the one who's in the line. That's why the audience got shocked, and he was the character whose lines he was reading. In doing, he became the world's first actor, and it's for him we get the world thespian.
Applied arts. So, ano yung applied arts? Applied arts is incorporating elements of style and design to everyday items with the aim of increasing their aesthetical value. Artists in this field bring beauty, charm, and comfort into many things that are useful in everyday life. Police and Relay 1931, industrial design, interior design, fashion design, and a graphic design are considered applied arts. Applied is often compared to fine arts, where the latter is chiefly concerned on aesthetic value through exploration and expression of ideas, consideration of the needs and careful choice of materials and techniques. Artists are able to combine functionality and style. Then, applied art is ito yung mga industrial design, interior design, fashion design, and graphic design. Pinakonsider itong applied arts. Applied is often compared to fine arts, similar to fine arts, where the latter are chiefly concerned on aesthetic value. So, ito yung gumagawa ng mga designs sa isang stage mula sa theater. They put some designs and elements, style para mas lalong madama yung story na pinapakita nila doon, para to add more style, to add more techniques and materials like that. So, art is a product of creativity, imagination, and expression. Creativity is how you create your imagination, and imagination is how you palawakin yung imagination mo through, then paano mo siya i-express through dance, singing, poetry, or painting, and more. And it expresses emotions and of expression of life. Art gives meaning to our lives and help us understand our world. So, sobrang powerful ng art sa atin, sa humanities, and through our world. Because art is, it can help us to seek knowledge. Ayan. So, art helps with human development in terms of learning and understanding difficult concepts. So, yan. Art is tinutulungan tayo to
paano i-develop ang ating learning through understanding difficult concepts like to understanding our own emotions, how we express it to ourselves, to someone. So by using of art, it can help you to explain yourself. If you can explain yourself through your voice, you can explain it by using a dance, singing, poetry.
Thank you for watching my video, and that's the definition of art and the elements and the difference. I hope you get some knowledge about the difference between dance, literary arts, theater, and applied arts. Thank you for watching. By the way, I am Siti Rauda Abdul Karim Pinansilo. I am from BAIS 1A and I'm a group number 2.